Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another stream. So it seems that the so-called powers that be are waging war against our community. From East Coast to the West Coast. There's a lot going on in the world right now. Right now, you got Roe versus Wade going on. And you got a lot of our melanated women believing that that's going to affect them when it comes to laws regarding terminating pregnancies. When actuality has nothing to do with you sisters in the hood. They're going to always make sure there's availability to terminate pregnancies. Even if it's private funding, they're going to make sure that you melanated women are able to terminate your pregnancy. So Roe versus Wade being overturned has nothing to do with you. It's all about them increasing their numbers. Y'all don't see the war right now? The infant milk shortages. Yeah, those milk shortages that's going on right now, those shortages are not going on in suburban communities. No. They're only going on in your community, and it's being used as a fear tactic to keep you from having children. Any woman with a microphone who stands up and speaks out against the new laws that's being implemented with Roe versus Wade, all of a sudden they're getting pushed to the forefront. Matter of fact, right now, they got certain sisters coming up saying that it's abuse to have children by a man. Yeah, they actually came up with a terminology for it. I can't recollect the terminology right now, but they actually came up with a term. They said men impregnating women is abuse to keep her home all day. Whose community do you think this is aimed towards? With the infant milk shortages, ladies should be breastfeeding. That's the reason why the Almighty God gave you breast milk. A lot of those infant milks, they have a lot of chemicals in them. And they wonder why our babies be so fragmented in thoughts, because we're not breastfeeding the children anymore. Oh, it's a war in your community. On top of that, we got two separate incidences on both coasts of the United States, East Coast and the West Coast, where a rogue shooter, and I'm putting that in quotations, claimed the lives of several victims. Over there in Buffalo, New York, at a Tops grocery store, some vigilante walks into the store and offs 10 of our people. Mind you, in two states where stringent gun laws apply. And this is why time and time again, brothers of the truth tell you to get out of these cesspools they call cities. Get out of areas that have horrible gun laws when it comes to your Second Amendment. Move to places where you can apply constitutional carry. Constitutional carry. You should be able to carry your firearm in the grocery store. They cannot go into any other community but ours and do such a thing that these shooters done. And then you have the religious folks that have the nerve to come out and speak against keeping your Second Amendment. Although Luke chapter 36 verse 22 says, sell the clothes off your back to buy a sword. When they walked up in that grocery store, when that 18-year-old racist walked inside that grocery store and decided to do what he did, everybody should have been strapped. When the police came, he should have, listen, he should have been dead on arrival. DOA, out of there. I'm telling you now, he was 18 years old. 18-year-old should have been strapped in that grocery store. Elderly should have been strapped. Mothers, fathers, and teenagers should have been strapped, armed to the T. Somebody said spiritual warfare, psychological operations to further the race agenda, take our guns, MK Ultra. Yeah, it's more to it than that. It's even more to it than that. See, they want to posture our people in a victimized mentality. They want us to be victims. They don't want us to actually keep our rights to bear arms. Let me tell y'all like this, right? A lot of these shooters that seem to be rogue, they're not operating alone. And what I mean by that is a lot of them are sleeper cells. A lot of them are sleeper cells. A lot of them are used under MK Ultra, brainwashing techniques. And these people are put out there to commit these heinous atrocities on certain groups of people. Better believe it's all by design. And here you have it. In our community, you got all these damn gangbangers, all these thugs, all these gangsters, everybody who about that life, that are off their brother in a heartbeat just for stepping on their shoe, just for looking at a brother wrong, over a female, over a few dollars, over some words, over some gossip. But where these damn gangbangers, where they yet protecting our communities? It seems that you got all the smoke for everybody on the outside of our community, but we don't have no standing force. We don't have no standing army to protect our community from these type of atrocities. Where you at, gangbangers and thugs? Where you at? Where is the so-called activists right now? I tell you where the activists have destroyed their reputation so bad, being graveyard chasers. They have destroyed their connection with our community so bad that the people already know they can't stand on those podiums right now and speak in regards to what's going on. They can't do it. Because what's behind the mask of these people have already been revealed. Yep, somebody said it. This incident was a true testimony to the lack of readiness among our community. Absolutely. And we still don't think times are serious. Listen, when I go to the gun range, you know who I see there? Every other nation but us. They got their 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. And you know what they doing at that range? They shooting. When I look around in these grocery stores, when I walk around, when I'm doing my shopping, you know what I see? All of our people are fat. Extremely overweight. Not ready for any war that's coming our way. We are being fattened up for the slaughter. Riddle me this one. Have you ever seen a 65-year-old obese black male? How many of y'all have seen a 65-year-old black male that's obese? By show of ones. I bet you I won't see no ones in here. While these people are jogging, while these people are working out, while these people are getting themselves together and training their children, we being fattened up for the damn slaughter. It hurts to see our people in this state. We're not ready. Somebody said we have to watch our back at all times, even when it comes to domestic or international. The enemy have been prepping for centuries, and they're sending out their bots to slaughter us. Exactly. Exactly, brother. In the Second Amendment, it tells you you're supposed to be able to protect yourself from foreign and domestic terrorism. But we want to stay in places like New York and LA where we have no rights to protect ourselves. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, since the inception of America, genocide has been taking place against our people. Mass shootings, ever since the turn of the century, have been directed towards our people. This has been happening for a long time now. Don't you know them scriptures say you must be like pilgrims on the land? When you persecuted in one place, flee to the next. In every city where there's a battle against platonic nuclear family, you need to get on up out of there. Even over there on the West Coast, at a church in Orange County, in LA, somebody shot up a church, 10 people injured. I believe 2 casualties. A place that's supposed to be a sanctimonious asylum. To show you the Most High God ain't protecting a lot of these churches when they're able to walk up in there and do whatever. No, it's supposed to be a ring of fire and angels around his solemn assemblies. That ain't supposed to be going down, ladies and gentlemen. Men of the Lord are supposed to have swords. Stop relying on the police. The police gonna get there when the carnage ends. Haven't you seen the movies? Don't you know when everything go down on every movie, when all the action is done and everybody and all the bodies is chalked up or laid out rather? Don't you know the police show up afterwards? You start hearing the red and blue lights. You start hearing them sirens. You don't know now that we gotta be our own police? We gotta police our own communities? And we gotta move to places where there's gun laws in our favor? Every man has the right to protect themselves. And it's gonna be so much misdirected energy because of the savagery that was conducted. You're gonna have people out there taken to the streets. You're gonna have people who just spearhead more chaos because they don't know how to resolve issues like this. And I know that I'm talking about problems in our community, but there's solutions, ladies and gentlemen. Channels like mine and others have been offering you solutions, telling you what you should do, telling you the truth that the pastors are not telling you, the preachers and bishops ain't telling you. How a church gets shot up when the Bible tell you to protect yourself and your people and your community? How do men of the Lord allow some rogue maniac to walk inside their asylum and kill the people inside? We don't know how serious it is now. We in war times. If you ain't gripped up at this moment, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? If you a man and you ain't gripped up and ready, what are you doing? You got a family to protect. Somebody said black needs to start loving each other. Then the protection will come. And we can secure ourselves against our enemies. That's a fact. But people don't want to hear that. People want to keep feeding into the drama, the gossip, the backbiting, the back and forth. Feeding into the nonsense in our community that keep us further degraded and destroyed. We don't want to stand together in righteousness. We want to murder and slaughter each other. And then everybody want to ban arms when an atrocity takes place. The pandemic started in Wuhan, China, in a lab. When that hit, ladies and gentlemen, let's just do a rundown, because sometimes you got to see how the war is against our community. Sometimes you got to get a real understanding and a recollection. So let me bring you up to date over what happened in the last couple years so you can see where we at right now. When that Wuhan hit in that lab, right? All of a sudden it spread it to Europe, the UK, England, the whole Western Hemisphere. Nobody in our community was worried about it. We was like, what? We don't know nothing about that. Corona? I don't even drink Corona like that. That's how our people was, right? But who did it ended up affecting the most? Who was dragged all through the news? Who was the poster children for it? I don't even gotta say what community, because everybody who catch wind of this video know who the war is against. Where's the real people who gonna stand in solidarity for who's being targeted? And to a degree, it did affect us inordinately for a few reasons. Because guess what? That strand that was created, it affected people who had underlying health problems. People who struggle with obesity. People who was down and out. People who was sickly. They only give us access to the worst foods to the point where we gotta fast most of the time. But they made us the poster children for that, so we could be the figure of death. It's a war going on. And then you got world star hip hop, platforms like that show the worst of the worst of the worst of our people, time and time again. You get on World Star, all you see is degenerates from our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, while you liking those videos, while you being entertained by those videos, they're dehumanizing you as a people. When all the women ain't doing nothing but shaking and twerking, yeah. And all the brothers is gang banging and going viral for speaking nonsense, while everybody's on there on the coon train. And it's all going on World Star. It's used to dehumanize you, because you have to make people look like savages, and you have to make them look like less than people without morals before you start coming against those people. They got us looking like animals, because nobody else in the world cares when animals get put down, ladies and gentlemen. The activists, they done tuck their tails between their legs and they hiding. Where's Black Lives Matter right now? You know why you don't see Black Lives Matter up there right now? Because they've ruined their reputation. We're talking about an organization that enrich themselves in tragedy. We're talking about an organization that has some real misappropriated wealth issues going on. So much so the families of the victims who lost their lives by the hands of police brutality and wrongful death, they haven't even received recompense from BLM. The mothers have denounced BLM. So Patrice Coolers can live in a $6 million mansion and you ain't even pay them people's mamas. They got us living in a world where our women are afraid to bring forth life. They're petrified because the men have been so emasculated to the point where they feel unprotected in this world. See, in these churches, they trained you to be weak beta males who don't protect their forefront. Ain't no way an 18-year-old male is supposed to be able to walk up in a grocery store and that happen without being bodied immediately. In our community, all these strong, vigilant, masculine men supposed to be in there holding it down. Ain't no way that's supposed to happen. And check this out. This teenager is online with memorandums and the whole nine. He's associated with all these umbrellas and networks who sit up there and plan these shootings. So let me get this right. When it comes to truth channels, when it comes to truth content, you able to put people on timeout. You able to shadow ban people. You able to hide truth and silence people. But let me get this right. In the most highly sophisticated, technological, advanced society known as America, you can't seem to scope out terror cells right here in the States. You not able to have dossiers on the real enemies who want to see a multifaceted, multicultural United States of America, because that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of a multicultural society over here. They trying to keep the numbers down. So they over here online choreographing and coordinating these type of attacks. And you mean to tell me that the Central Intelligence Agency can't scope that out, but y'all can watch us 24/7? Something's wrong here. You telling me you can watch our people, send agents among us? You mean to tell me you can send COINTELPRO? You can follow brothers and sisters on highways. You can send agents in people's neighborhoods and make them neighbors and spy and wiretap. You can do all these things, all this espionage, but you can't scope out these damn devils who online planning domestic terrorism in our community. The men of Israel, the awakened brothers, we ain't supposed to stand for that. We're supposed to protect our environments. Somebody said Democrats are behind this to produce fear to get votes. They're using George Floyd. They used George Floyd last time. That's crazy that you say that, because it actually should turn votes the other way. That should make people want to go on the right side, because the right has gun laws, better gun laws. So in actuality, that should make people want to go on the right. That shouldn't work out for people's best interest to go to the left. But you know how foolish people are? Just to show you how warped these people are on the left. And I'm not for right or left. I'm for righteousness altogether. The right is the lesser of two evils, but let's just make this clear. My vote goes to the Most High God. But the people on the left are so damn confused and lost that they'll look at this and say, yeah, we need better gun laws. How did that guy get that gun? Opposed to, no, we need constitutional carry, because that young man wasn't supposed to be able to go up in that store and get away with that. See, logical people would think on the right side, like, no, there's no way that man should have been able to do that. There should have been an army waiting for him. See, people are real comfortable with going to do these shootings when they know the people ain't got guns. They're real comfortable going into a store and and committing a massacre when they know the people ain't prepared. Everybody walking around overweight. in the aisles shopping for their damn honey buns and everything else ungodly that got all these chemicals. They know the people ain't paying no attention. See, them grocery stores, a lot of the times they become a place where people become hypnotized by the food that they're about to take in. And a lot of the times it ain't healthy food. A lot of the times when people in them stores and the little store music is playing, you know, people spend a long time in there. They get real comfy. That is the place you really supposed to have that gripper on you, honestly. But nobody's thinking, I'm gonna go to the grocery store, I'm gonna do some shopping, and somebody is just going to interrupt that. Nobody's thinking like that. Somebody said, but this is the real problem, Breed. The guy was streaming the murders. The real question is, what's really getting under my skin is how many people was watching the stream and how many called police. Exactly. And that is crazy. That's straight up lunacy. How the hell can he even get away with streaming alive as if every device don't have an IP address? Listen, in my state, we have constitutional carry, but if I was to pull out a pistol right now, I guarantee, I can promise y'all, police will be here and my stream will get shut down. You can bet your bottom dollar that in 0.5 minutes, this stream will be shut down because of the IP address and police would be here. Y'all don't think they put those stringent laws in place for a reason? Y'all don't believe it was done for a reason? No, you disarm the people before you attack. It's a simple war strategy. So when I put in the title of my video, there's an all-out war in our community. Yes, there's a war. There's a war on such a psychological, demonic level. These women got to go to the grocery stores, look on the shelves, and there's no milk there. When in actuality, you ladies are supposed to be taking care of your bodies so you can produce the milk needed. But they want you afraid to have children. It's all depopulation, Georgia Guidestones. It's all ideological subversion. It's all demented. It's all hitting you on a subconscious level. Somebody said they need to be breastfeeding anyway. I think the best thing for our community. Exactly. See, the Most High God have his hands in these things too, ladies and gentlemen. The Most High God is trying to return us to our natural essence. He want to return us to what we are supposed to be. We ain't supposed to be relying on them for something that the Lord gives you, ladies. And then you have all the feminists come on, oh, men don't know our bodies and they don't understand how it is. No, they don't. Listen, the Lord made things how they are. When women start talking like that, you already know they on the left-hand side. That means they operating in wickedness and evil. We know the Lord gave you breast milk, woman. They just don't know how our bodies operate. We know the Lord gave you breast milk, and if you're taking care of yourself, you should be able to feed your baby without going to the store. We know that part. And when that baby is old enough to grab food on their own and chew, then there's the solvable food that they can eat as well. The Lord, once they can get the applesauce and all that good stuff, we know that they don't need it anymore. And we not with all that breastfeeding to the baby 3 and 4. I think, that's your discretion, but a lot of our people ain't with all that. Your baby can pick up a whole sandwich and they still hanging off the tit, but that's another story for another day. But all in all, it's only a certain amount of time that you even gotta feed. It's only a certain amount of time you gotta feed. Yeah, your baby got whole teeth, chewing on the nipplets. Don't seem right to me. I could be wrong though. I mean, it's only a certain, you see what I'm saying? It's only a certain amount of time. But it's a war. It's on a psychological level. Somebody said exactly, but some mothers don't like breastfeed and have to work jobs. Hey, that's why these women need to start getting sister wives, so they don't have to work jobs. They need to start, you know, participating in polygyny, so they ain't got to worry about that. That don't make no damn sense. You can't sit home and feed your child because you got to work for them people. If you had a sister wife, you wouldn't have to worry about that. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna get worse, man. Because let me tell you what that also did. That attack on a Tops grocery store did in Buffalo, New York. Let me tell you what that also did. What it did was it made these shooters, these terrorists, more comfortable. It made them more comfortable. He was an example. And the way those terror networks work, they operate on a point system. And they're literally, they're a cult. They immortalize this young man because of that within these little groups and sectors and little online events that they have. And they say, oh man, he get this amount of points. Oh, how many of them N-words did he take out? And then they try to what they'll do is try to overtop what he did. They're literally playing Hunger Games on our community right now. They're playing Hunger Games on our community. And we can't even, and listen, and when brothers are speaking truth, we can't even get our people to spread the truth. We can't even get our people to spread the truth, let alone stand in it. That's what it's like in our community. Our people only want to promote and push drama. Somebody said if you were growing your own food, you wouldn't be worried about going to your job or work. If you was growing your own food, we wouldn't have to worry about going into these damn grocery stores with all this GMO modified food. And that's why on our Jamaica retreat, we're going to learn how to till the soil. We're going to learn how to do all those things. Things that we wasn't taught here in this land, in this modern society. Yeah, they got us focused on nonsense. Somebody said, I'm in Massachusetts. It's strict over there too. Man, you got to make your way somewhere else, bro. Somebody said, Manchurian candidate, they come in all colors. That's a fact too. Let's not forget that you had the New York shooting in the subway, which I believe was a Manchurian candidate. You got a lot of those going around. And for those who don't know, when we say a Manchurian candidate, we talking about the movie with Denzel Washington. And this is what they do. They'll actually take certain individuals out of society, and they will be literally courted, and they will be brung to certain facilities that a lot of you people don't even know about. A lot of these facilities are underground. They're underground facilities where there's experiments ran on certain individuals, where there's MK Ultra, brainwashing, there's mind control technology that they got, and they'll take certain individuals in society and they'll plant them there to do certain heinous acts, such as mass shootings. They'll literally program them to do this. Because listen, they're at the point now where with the type of technology they got, especially with the double Big Mac that's going in people. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the double Big Mac, the injection. With that going on, the technology is even heightened even more. So now they can operate remotely. In some instances, they operate straight up remotely. They utilize radio frequencies. You got people hearing voices in their head after they got the you-know-what, the double Big Mac. You got people hearing voices in their heads telling them to do certain things, and they doing it. That's why I tell people, man, we got to get out of certain areas and really begin to gravitate towards each other. We really got to practice what we preach and start operating with like-minded people, because it's going to get worse. Somebody said, are long guns legal in New York? Yo, listen. New York's gun laws are horrendous, bro. New York's gun laws are terrible. It's best that you move somewhere down south. Texas. Florida's laws are pretty good. Georgia's is great because we got constitutional carry. North Carolina, South Carolina. When I was living in South Carolina, I got pulled over. I had my gripper on me, and dude didn't even ask me no questions. He didn't say you got a license. He didn't say nothing. I got pulled over for like, I think my tags was expired. I forgot to do something with the taxes or something with the tags. Pulled me over. He's like, is any weapons in the vehicle? I'm like, yes. I have my gun right here in the console. It's not loaded. See, in South Carolina, you have to have like, you can't have it loaded. You have to have the magazine in one place and the gun in the other. You just can't ride around with it loaded. But, you know, if one of those officers was to take your gun or touch your gun or do anything with your firearm, under law, like, they're wrong. They ain't supposed to. That's actually messing with your law, your rights. You want to move in places where you have rights, man. And we need to get these likes matching the views. Like, what we doing right now? What we doing right now? Let's get these likes matching the views. Because there's some pertinent information right now. We want everybody to know this information. The most we can do is talk right now because we ain't gonna formulate no standing army. We ain't gonna be able to do that. Only thing we gonna be able to do is protect those who want to operate in family. Protect their family. I'm in Georgia. And out here the laws are great. You got constitutional carry. Meaning you don't have to apply for a firearms license to be able to carry your gun. Ecto says it may be safer because you have rights. Yeah, but how safe will it be when everyone has those same rights? Sounds like the Wild Wild West. No, it doesn't work like that. See, that's a misconception. A lot of people believe that it's going to be like the Wild Wild West because everybody has those rights. Well, the truth of the matter is you still cannot purchase a firearm if you're a felon. Like if you got multiple felonies on your belt, you cannot go into a gun store and purchase a firearm. You got to understand the felons, the criminals, the thugs and gangsters already have guns, man. The laws that's in place right now is only restricting families from having them because they got to go through leaps and bounds, ins and outs. See, criminals don't buy legal guns. Criminals don't purchase legal guns. So it won't be like the Wild Wild West. And to be honest with you, the Wild Wild West had more respect. Because in the Wild Wild West, everybody was strapped. So if you was going to go to a shootout in the Wild Wild West, you was going to wait till dusk. And you would go up to a grown man and you would take your glove off and slap him in the face at the bar. And then you would go out there, then y'all would do y'all shootout. Soon as the crows started to make noise and surrounding, you would go out there. And you would do what? You would do a shootout. It was respect. You wasn't just walking up on anybody shooting. So the Wild Wild West has a bad name. The Wild Wild West has a bad name. The Wild Wild West is good. Because you're going to respect somebody who's got it on them. That's respect right there. When you go up to them, you ain't just shoot them randomly with their back turned in the Wild Wild West, did you? They had a showdown, right? That means there was mutual grounds. That means respect. There was mutual grounds. Nowadays, it's reckless. It's the Wild Wild West in California. Have you seen how the hood is? It's Wild Wild West in New York and Buffalo. Did you see what just happened? I hate to say Wild Wild West, but stop demonizing that. The West had respect. It's chaos out there. Yeah, Texas got some good laws. Like, we should really consider moving around in the world. Yeah, and it's also a spiritual warfare as well. Yeah, California wicked as hell. The gas is $7. It's all kind of pushes for alternative lifestyles down there. You got these teachers in these schools right now, in all of these blue states. You got these teachers claiming to be queer, and helping children realize that they are queer. It's some weird stuff going on. Come on, man. If we don't get back to our biblical laws and statutes, we're going to be doomed as a people. I'm going to tell you right now. For those who don't know, who might be catching this, one of my broadcasts for the first time. Listen, we the children of God written of in that Bible. We the biblical Israelites that the Bible speak of. We God's chosen people. We've been disenfranchised. We've been cut off from being a nation. They hidden our ancient history, our rich history of who we are. We are supposed to be setting the standards for the world. But because we failed through sin and we wanted to serve all the other idol gods of all the other nations, and we wanted to serve all these pagan deities, God said, listen, they want to be a people without no God. I'm gonna give them over to the reprobate gods. I'm gonna give them over to the satanic gods. I'm gonna give them over to these people. Since they want to be a people with no God, I'm gonna give them over. And that's why our neighborhoods and our communities are just an open invitation for all kind of wicked spirits and demons. But the only way to get our communities protected is come back to our law, statutes, and commandments. Stop eating the pork, man. Stop eating the shrimp, crab, pork, lobsters. Listen, stop following their pagan traditions, because as you can see, it ain't safe on Sunday. It ain't safe on Sundays. The real holy day is Saturday. From Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. That's a solemn day for the Lord. On Sunday, there ain't no respect. It ain't like the mafia movies where they ain't gonna load up and kill and shoot on no Sunday. Nah, that day ain't sacred. It damn sure ain't sacred to us. The pagans used to worship on Sundays. Commits the word sun day. They actually worship the actual sun, the S-U-N. So them ain't our days at all. Listen, we have laws written down, and until we keep those laws, there will be no protection. Y'all got to understand, when we was in our natural state, when we was in Jerusalem, we had the high grounds in Judea. We had a vantage point on everything. When we was operating how we supposed to operate as people, with morality, being civil towards each other, loving your neighbor like you love yourself, keeping his dietary laws, his ceremonial laws, keeping the real holy days written of in the Bible, not the pagan days. When we were doing that, nobody can touch us. I don't think y'all understand that, how important keeping God's laws are. Nobody can touch us. Nobody can come in our neighborhoods and do anything. Just like the Wish community, Jewish, who worship in synagogues. Revelations 2:9. But anyway, nobody come in a community. Nobody come in the Amish community. Nobody coming in these communities, because you know what? They stole our history. They stole our history. We are the biblical Israelites. And these devils who are controlling things, the puppet masters. What the puppet masters are doing right now is they're trying all type of covert psychological warfare tactics. What they're doing is they're trying all kind of depopulation tactics. They're pushing the death culture to the furthest extent, because they know if they could destroy us, the children of the light, then their world would never end. This is what they think. They think if they could take us out, stop us from giving birth, same thing Pharaoh did in Egypt when they was killing the firstborn son. If they could stop us from giving life, if they could stop us from populating, if they could stop us from thriving, listen, the thing they fear the most is our people in our right minds. They don't want to see us in our right mind. They're terrified of it. And when they see, and listen, they're going to put everything out there to stop us from living. We are them people of that book. There's no way around it. Somebody said they are bringing back narco setups where I'm at. We just had an issue in RI with over 30K false drug charges. Wow. Ain't that crazy? In a society where you can put injection sites and you can do harm reduction grants to put crack pipes and smoker kits in the hood, but at the same time, they could do narco tactics as well. Ain't that something? If that ain't set up and flush, what is? So you can promote the usage of drugs, but then still put out state Ricos for drug charges in practically every state. The game is wild, ain't it? It's foul. Somebody said, want to have America, but not sure where to go. Dollar will collapse soon. Want to leave America. Hey, listen, there's plenty of places. The world is huge. The world is huge. Somebody said, school in session, y'all. We got to listen up. Real talk, man. We living in those times. And I'm going to tell you now, from what I hear, where the young man who, well, the savage, the goon, it's amazing how when another nation does something, they not called savages and goons and thugs. They're called rogue shooters or cult, cult members. They're called everything but what they are. But anyway, it's amazing how, well, from what I heard, let me backtrack a little bit. From what I heard is he's locked up among us. That's what I heard. And so if it's any type of peace that we can come to in regards to this atrocity, he has been caught. And from what I'm hearing, word on the streets is he locked up with some brothers. Like he ain't gonna be doing no easy time. It is that part. So if you can imagine, yeah, they call mentally ill and all those things when they just savages and goons. They're called assassins and things like that when really they just savages and goons. But from what I'm hearing, man, every day gonna be a living hell for that guy. We talking about he gonna be beat beyond his life at least twice a week. More than likely suicide will be the S word will be his only way out. More than likely. From what I've been told, word on the streets and brothers that have reached out to me, because I like to find out things like that. Yo, who he gonna be locked up with? I like to find that out. Just to get some level of peace, knowing that, yo, for what you did to those families, for the hell you caused, for that traumatic life experience that everybody had to be subject to. Like a lot of people who were shopping in that store, they're gonna be suffering from PTSD. They're never gonna be the same again. And then not to mention the people who lost their lives. There were children in that grocery store. It was a story of a young lady saying that she knew something was wrong because her pressure point is in her neck. And she felt pressure in her neck. Her stress point is in her neck. And she felt that stress and she knew something was wrong. And she just started running immediately. And her daughter took off in front of her and they made it out. And, but they'll never be the same, man. That's something that's just, it's traumatizing. And so with everything that man go through in that jail, I hope they lay the wrath on him. I hope the Most High God judges him according to what he did to our people. And not only that, the entire organization is brought down. Why can't our country get better security when it comes to these demons? But they so quick to judge, they so quick to isolate us, flag us, shadow ban us, and watch us. One thing about it, our people, for the most part, we've been through hell and back twice, but we still got hearts of gold. We not out here trying to hurt nobody. We not out here trying to, do mass shootings and all of that. That's not even in our people's nature. So while they steady watching us, we out here moving wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. But if you cross our people, if you try to break into one of our homes and deal with us, y'all have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, get out of that religious spirit. We ain't fitting to have our heads dashed across the stone and beat and destroyed. We ain't fitting to let that happen, ladies and gentlemen. Like, what world are you living in? In the Apocrypha, they say in these times there will be a shortage of bread, that people will begin to pillage households. You ladies got to get out of that single woman mentality, that you can do bad all by yourself. No, you could do worse without a husband. When somebody breaks and enters and wants to take you and ravish you. When you have that child in there and it's just you and that child. And you have those masked assailants that break in, anything can happen. You want yourself a husband. And at the very least, you want yourself a banger. You want yourself a banger. And you want to learn how to use it. Right now, with that news that just took place, what we should have happening right now as we speak is there should be an uptick all across the United States of America, and likes of this event, there should be an uptick on firearm purchases and people going to the range. That's what should be happening this summer. Instead of y'all trying to live a hot girl and a hot boy summer, this summer, there should be an uptick on us just going out and actually training, going to outdoor marksman locations as well, and actually getting it in. If we ain't taking things serious at this point, I don't know what we doing out here. We should be spending our time at ranges. And for everybody sending super chats, I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. We're just spreading the good truth, man. And we're not trying to, you know, and it's like a lot of these things, I've said these things in videos, but a lot of people don't hear it until these type of events take place. And all it does is reinforce what the Bible has been saying about the times we living in. Yeah, even go paintballing. That's a good idea, Gerald. Somebody said, they're still polluting the land with blood during their judgment. Absolutely. And 2/3, you know, there's judgment going on with our people as well. I'm talking about these rappers and these evil men. You got the Young Thug situation going on. With a whole YSL is being brought down on racketeering and state Rico charges. And it's like in certain places the Lord is just cleaning, he's just cleaning house, man. He's cleaning house. Letting you brothers know to redirect your energy. Instead of applying your energy to the street gangs, the gangs is over. The gangs is over. Instead of applying that energy to the gangs, apply it to your nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, listen, the nation of Israel, our people, we family. Just like the mob and the mafia family, we're family. You're going to go harder for your family than you're going to go for some gang, some red or blue flag. That's not your family. And you're going to find out with the Young Thug situation when everybody start turning, when everybody start flipping, when everybody starts snitching, getting that seafood bucket and that black and mild. When everybody start flipping, you're going to find out that gangs ain't your family. Matter of fact, where the gangs at to protect our environment? Where the gangs at to support our neighborhood? Where the gangs at to protect our neighborhood? All them gangbangers do is stand outside and look at people's license plates all day and watch people bring appliances in their home. All them gangbangers do is sell drugs to their community. Them gangbangers ain't doing nothing for the community. You know, to be honest with you, and I hope all them gangbangers get judged. I hope the Lord lock all their asses up. I hope the Lord judge all the gangbangers. Destroy all of them. Get them out the streets. We need real men of the truth who gonna protect their environment and be ready, locked and loaded. Y'all get the thumbs up. We almost got 1,800 people in the building. Let's get it. Let's get those 1,800 people. And also, I'm going to do another live tonight, too. I got another live. It's last call for the June retreat. We're going to do a live on this channel just for those who want to, you know, have that. We have a few more spaces left. I want to give details. I want to do a stream regarding that later on this evening. Yeah, somebody said a bunch of kids with guns in Chicago. Facts. And we got it up to 1,800. Yeah, and don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to spread this truth. I mean, it's getting real out here, man. We in all out war and people still think it's a game. You got people going out every weekend shaking their ass all over the town. Everybody celebrating, everybody scantily clad, everybody lost chase and modesty. Like, let me ask you melanated people something. Let me ask y'all something. Who go out every single weekend? Let me ask you this question. It's okay to enjoy yourself. It's okay to go out sometimes. But let me ask y'all this. What the hell are y'all celebrating every weekend? What are you celebrating? Every weekend, you pissy drunk in somebody's club, in the parking lot, hanging in somebody's car every weekend? Like, what are you celebrating? I just want to know. Inquiring minds would like to know. Do you ever get moments of solitude where you see something happen against your people? Moments of solitude where you say, I don't want to do nothing, man. Look what they doing out here to our people. Do you ever get there, or you just walking dead out here? You just in zombie land. I'm telling you, y'all, the times are real. It's time for us to really strap up, grip up, stop playing games. Second Amendment. You got a right to bear arms from foreign and domestic terrorism. Black women, stop isolating yourselves from your brothers, your men. Stop being afraid to produce life because it's war. Brothers, make these women feel safe when you get a child. When that woman is pregnant, rather. When that woman is pregnant, brothers, it's important to make her feel safe. I don't care if you financially struggling just a little bit. You got to keep in mind, brothers, the Lord put that life in that woman's belly for a reason. And your day is coming. It's going to be, and he's going to make sure you able to support that child. I done watched so many brothers get their lady pregnant, and all of a sudden the Lord's just blessed them. They got an increase. I done watched that happen so many times with brothers in the truth that done just rose to the top and start doing good for themselves the moment their woman was pregnant. And at the very least, when that woman get pregnant, that man turned his mind around. He turned his mind around to the point where he's at least able to position himself in a place where he can do good for him and himself, his wife, and that child. Don't let these people deter us from populating and living our lives. We're going to live fruitful and multiply. We're going to come into this truth. We're going to be healthy, safe, and strong. My condolences to all the victims in Buffalo and LA. My sincere condolences. I hope as a whole that our community can learn from that atrocity and begin to protect themselves. Because there's always different forces and demonic entities working out here. I love each and every one of y'all. I'll see a lot of y'all later in the broadcast. I'm going to go ahead and get this good old exercise out here and enjoy this sunshiny day. Till later, ladies and gentlemen. One love, shalom, and peace.